Hi, it's Tara. Just here with my 7-week and 2-day update of my Bell's palsy journey. Not much to report, if you can tell. There's been no small miracles that have happened to me in the past week or so since I last did a video. The progress is continuing, for the most part. Sometimes I have to really look to see something that looks like progress. But if I look hard enough, I see it, which is, I guess, is what it is. Good. Could be better, but, good. I would say the thing that I am seeing more and more, or noticing more and more on a daily, weekly basis is my eye movement, which is very positive because that is the area that I would love to see the most improvement. I would love to blink my eye again. The things that you take for granted before you have Bell's palsy. So I will show you real quick when I blink. It's subtle, but there's definitely, I think, two things. One, I think that the shape in my eye or the muscles around my eye are starting to come back, especially my upper lid area. My lower lid is still, droopy, which still does cause problems with the tears coming out and everything. But the upper eyelid, I feel like is starting to get some more form back to it. And then just that very subtle blinking, which tends to be better in the morning, probably because the muscles in my eye or my eyelid are, have rested for a longer period of time. I find that over the course of the day, it starts to get a little less noticeable. But I am seeing an improvement with that too in the past few days. So it's interesting. I don't know how the nerve recovery works with something like that. Part of me almost thinks that it would be this spontaneous, once the nerve heals, the eye just closes. It's just like one day it's done, it's healed. But it also could be something where it just slowly heals, and as those nerve endings slowly heal, the movement slowly starts to come back, which I guess is probably what I'm seeing right now. So we'll see about that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm definitely feeling a lot more, not tingly, but something that feels like life coming back into my face. Very subtle, but I can feel it. Just a little bit more sensation at times, which is another positive thing. So yeah, so plug it along. I think I try as best I can. I'm not perfect at it, but I try as best I can to look at this as a learning experience and something that I can grow from. I guess you maybe could say that I'm lucky, but I haven't had a lot of this will go down as one of those real impactful experiences of my life. And I could either choose to come out of it better and stronger and having learned something, or I can come out of it worse. And so I am focusing my attention on coming out of it better. And I think so far I've done a good job with that. Not perfect, but I think I've done a pretty good job with that, of just realizing that when this is over, I'm going to be different, and I'm going to be different for the better. And I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but I am. One quick thing to share is, I think I'd shared a couple of videos ago that I've been kind of dealing with some anxiety, even before the Bell's palsy, just anxiety related to certain life things that I've gone through, but definitely heightened by the Bell's palsy, and specifically anxiety around flying, which I've never had a fear of flying in my entire life. And I've flown all over the world, and we lived in, overseas at one point when I was growing up, and I've lived in many different places in the United States. So travel and flying have never been an issue for me. So this was a really weird thing that was going on, of this real, almost debilitating level fear of flying. So I ended up going on this California trip a couple weeks ago, and I was nervous. Well, I wasn't really nervous, actually, on the flight out there. So this is the story that I'm going to share with this anxiety attack that I started to have. It was me and two of my sons. My husband and my other little guy who has special needs did not come with us. So it was me and my older two boys who are 13. And I was actually fine. The whole morning, we had an early morning flight. I was fine. I wasn't really thinking about it. I wasn't nervous. I felt fine. And then I got onto the airplane and we're sitting on the tarmac waiting to take off. And I'm sitting next to two strangers. My two boys are sitting behind me. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just felt this wave coming over me. And I knew that wave because when I have anxiety attacks, that's exactly what it feels like. It's like the world is closing in and my adrenaline starts to go, my heart starts to beat really fast, my breath becomes shallow. Anyone that's had an anxiety attack, I know, can relate to this experience. And I just felt this overwhelming feeling of claustrophobia and fear. Like, not just fear, like I'm scared, like the kind of like life or death level of fear. Like an irrational fear that I was dying or going to die. Something was going to cause me to die. And I've been kind of listening to some podcasts recently, specifically about anxiety and really trying to explore, my anxiety and what I can do to control it. And I've heard this multiple times in the past, and it's kind of resonated with me recently, and I know I'm going to get this wrong, but something as far as anxiety is your brain trying to, I think, predict the future or solve the future. Basically, it's this thing about looking into the future. So anxiety, and this might not be true for everybody, but I can say in my situation it is, specifically this fear of flying, there's an anxiety around what if, what could happen. Specifically, I guess, dying or something. You don't even really think about it. I think, and what I'm going to get to in a second is actually thinking about what you're afraid of and walking through to the worst case scenario actually takes the fear away in this weird way, because when you're having the anxiety, you're not really recognizing that connection of your brain is trying to plan for or predict the future. So I'm sitting there on the airplane feeling this anxiety attack come over me. And I just said, okay, Tara, what is the worst thing that could happen on this airplane that you're so anxious about? And obviously, the worst thing that can happen on an airplane when you're up in the air is that the plane crashes and we all go down in a fiery blaze. That's obviously the worst thing that could happen is I will never get off this plane. That's it. Me and my boys, we're gone. It sounds so awful to say it and to even think it. And you would think that would actually make my anxiety even worse. But it was so weird. It was like I took control back. It was almost like recognizing, okay, this is the worst that's going to happen. That's the worst that's going to happen. Now. I know what it is. And within seconds, I could just feel the anxiety go down. And for the rest of the plane ride, I kind of stayed away from that darkness of even kind of exploring that again. I didn't get, high and mighty. I didn't think, oh, I got this, I kicked this. I was like, you know what, Tara, just let it be where it is in this dark, shadowy corner. But I think it kind of just went away. It made its way out the door. And on the flight home, I was fine. And I feel like I really am happy that I went on that trip because I faced something that could have spiraled. This fear of flying could have spiraled and it could have crept into other areas of my life, and I could have started to avoid things because I was afraid of having this anxiety, and I didn't. And I faced it head on, and not to say that I won't have another anxiety attack again, but I'm feeling like I have another tool in my tool belt to combat it, and that I'm stronger than my anxiety, which is a good lesson to learn. So that's it. I know that kind of went off on a weird tangent there, but I hope that little story there helps somebody. And I hope you have a great week. Hope if you have Bell's palsy that you are seeing recovery. Thanks. Bye.